Hello. 'Tis the snake. It is time to kill every team. The most saddest stream. This game. In other news, my browser is still imploding. If anyone knows what could cause all Chromium browsers to implode, let me know. I've tried resetting it. I've then also tried does this happen to any other browser? Firefox, no. Chrome, yes. Somehow. Yes, for some reason. Chrome is also having issues, which points me at an issue with the base software. Anyhow, why can I not talk to you? Somebody with the pleasure. Oh, I logged off and she isn't with me. That explains it. Alice, what is it? Can a man not enjoy moments of private respite? You're looking for chair table, then I respectfully request that you look elsewhere. Misunderstand, sir. We are simply wondering if you knew of the Telephoroi. These enemies of peace have promised an end to all we hold dear, and... Wait, you're that house Level girl, aren't you? And this man with you is obviously foreigner. I heard you disowed for helping outsiders indulge their barbaric whims, and here you are giving truth to the rumor. I'll thank you to leave me be. I've naught to say to the likes of you. But I must apologize. 'Twas foolish of me to expect an ounce of civility from one so enlightened. Come, Rain. Oof. Poor Alice. Yes, I don't believe we've had the pleasure. Pray excuse the interruption. Well, we were hoping you might share your thoughts on the Telephoroi and their unconscionable plans. My goodness, what is it, young Miss Levillier? My apologies, but I work in the offices of the Forum, and if word reached Master Fortuno, I was helping you. I see. We're sorry to have bothered you. Welcome, sir. What can I offer you today? Wait, is that Mr. Zalazar you see there? My word, how long has it been? Far too long. Meet Dickon, the owner of the Last Stand. I used to frequent this cafe on occasion in between lessons at the stadium. That seems like an age ago now. I remember hearing that you and Master Alfino had set sail for Eorzea. But then you never came back. Lately there's been a gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything alright at home? It's complicated, and I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with the situation so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. Well, it is house level here. No matter how discreet Master Fortuno may have been, news of your family's doings never stay secret for long. Things being what they are, what brings you back to the city now full times? You've questions, and only Charlian has the answers. Tell me, Master Dickon, have you heard anything about an apocalypse called the Final Days? What, like the end of the world? Nothing like that, I'm afraid, and that's what you're here to find. Information on this apocalypse. Yes, whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, your patrons appear to be unwilling to speak to me. I wish there was more I could do to help. But maybe there is. You're a visitor to Charlian, aren't you? Then few will know your face. We should be able to pass you off as a server with none the wiser. We were just finished preparing a few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're getting down to food. And you might just get the answers he's looking for. Not a bad idea. I had to ask, but what do you think? It'll be fine. That's the spirit. Pay attention now, and I'll explain where each of these dishes needs to go. The tea set is for the chatty group sitting by the water's edge. The omelette is for one of our regulars, a Highlander by the name of Gisela. She's sitting at an outside table with a friend of hers. And behind them, you should see a Mikote gentleman. He ordered the oven-baked lobster. Good on that. If you're not sure, I'll just ask again and explain. Good luck. My memory good. Oh, my tea set. Lovely, thank you. The Telefu, I'm sorry, you've never heard of them or their final days. My friends and I are somewhat uninformed when it comes to current events. Now, if you wanted to hear about the ritual arcane practices of the sixth astral era, common or esoteric, then I'd be happy to talk to your ear off. I mean, yes. I always like to order this when I'm discussing arcane theory with my peers. It's my favorite treat. Good for you. Oop. Ah, finally. 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's dig in, no time to waste. What, the Telephoroi? Ah, yes. I remember seeing the name in the latest Gazette. They did some claim about the end of days, some old senseless warmongering. How do these fools grow tired of spilling each other's blood? Best stay out of it, I say. The Forum made the right choice, and I fully support the decision to remain neutral. At last, the oven-baked lobster is mine. You have no idea how long I've scrimped and saved and suffered to afford this heavenly dish. The final days? That's the first I've heard of it. Although that would explain why my friend has been rushed off his feet. It must be a busy time to be a gleaner. You don't know what a gleaner is? They're collectors of a sort. Travel the world, procuring things that we haven't got here in Charlian. Priceless books, unusual life specimen, and so forth. So named for those folks who trail the reapers in the fields, picking up every grain which was missed. Aye, by all accounts, gleaning is a most meticulous and demanding profession. If these Telephoroi make good and their audacious threats, then many uncatalogued rarities could be lost forever. Why else would the cleaners be buzzing around in such a frenzy? Watch the harbour and you'll see what I mean. They're carting loads in from the docks all day. It's never been this hectic before, not like this. So Charlian is panicking after all. They're just hiding it. Interesting. Any trouble with the customers? Were you able to get anyone talking? Interesting. They seem unaware of the final days, aside from whatever vague news the gazettes are printing. Even Dickon had nothing to offer, and he's the best source of gossip in the city. If the Forum does have secret knowledge, then they've done an impressive job ensuring it doesn't get out. In any case, thank you for playing the part so well. Here, that cup of coffee I promised. But let's enjoy our drinks somewhere else, shall we? Maybe behind the peristyle. And away from the gossip and the wagging tongues. Ooh. Yes, this should do nicely. Out of the wind and out of sight.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Understandable.
It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Charlian? Graham said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently. It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been, how being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family. If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently. They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos. A vast complex beneath the island. Charlian is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility. Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat. Wait, didn't you hear something in the last stand about the gleaners coming and going more than usual? Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And gleaners answer to the Forum. If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
Sounds plausible. Let's check it out then. How do we get in? We should tell the others what we've learned about the Gleaners. Go on ahead to Numenon. I'll join you in a moment. Master Deacon will put his cups back. Oh, you sure will. Cups are expensive. We should get them back. Give them back. Back them back. Back them back. All right. Whoops. I don't even know where I'm supposed to go. I'm stupid. The stoop. The stupid is with me. Da, 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 da. Welcome back, Rain. Been for a walk and cleared your head, have you? Not exactly. We did some impromptu investigating and turned up information on the Gleaners. Makes sense. The Gleaners take their requests directly from institutions and bureaucrats. But as you say, they ultimately answer to the Forum. A sudden and significant increase in Gleaner traffic and cargo. It certainly gives the impression of an overarching plan being put into motion. Let us see what theory you can build from the facts. As your Stoll observed earlier, the numerous archives appear to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with what Rain and Alize learned at the last stand, you can be reasonably sure that most Charlians know nothing of that peculiar period of ancient history. Yet my father and his colleagues are not only familiar with the final days, but they are somehow certain that the destruction being perpetrated by the Telophoroi is wholly unlike these apocalyptic events. Moreover, the Forum claims to be so occupied by a duty of such pressing importance that they saw fit to unanimously deny Eosia's request for aid. Now the Gleaners, official agents of the state, have been mobilized on an unprecedented scale. I do not think it's a stretch to conclude that the Gleaners' recent activities are in service to the Forum's secret ends. Can't talk today. In which case, our next course of action seems obvious. We visit Labyrinthus and assess the situation for ourselves. And if we're lucky, the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. A fine idea. I'm glad you approve. You won't be disappointed, I promise. As for myself, there are a few more subjects I should like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I'll see to it that each is returned to its proper place. That would be a great help. Thank you, Raha. Let's head down the stairs over there, and I'll show you where the entrance is. Ready? Labyrinthus is not too far from here, but you may find the path a bit disorienting. I'll take the lead, so stay close. Well, go on then. Move! Move, Alize, move! It's pleasant here amongst the trees. But we really should move along. Yes. Please do. Now we run, try to keep up. Finally, she's moving. Keep to the path, straight ahead. Across this bridge. Up here. The rostra, not far. Ooh. An ether shard. I need to get that later. And here we are. Through this door and down the stairs. Did you remember the shard back there, didn't you? It will make your life much easier if you need to come back in a hurry. Otherwise, we should keep moving. Sword. Chocobo. I think I want it to be a bit louder. You're all here now, yes? I've taken the liberty of securing permission for our group's descent. Right, everyone. Right, everyone into the lift, and down we go.
Deep beneath the scholar's city shines a false sun within a fabricated sky. In any age exist those who consider the floor an extension of their bookshelves, and this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed. If the stack grows too high, start a new one. If no room remains, then make more rooms. A simple solution at first, and then bit by bit, a profound transformation. Knowledge buried beneath knowledge, a growing, creeping labyrinth from which there is no escape.
Not what you expected. I must admit, the artifice is very convincing.
Sure is.
But I assure you that we are beneath Sharlayan itself. The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you hear, all created by the hand of man.
The island is volcanic, you see, and once upon a time this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma. It was discovered some 400 years ago, at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh on no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
Aren't those people gleaners?
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today. It may be as you suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then.
Ugh.
Huh? You okay?
Did you call to me just now?
No.
No. How odd. I must be a bit dizzy from the descent. I'll be fine, I'm sure. Let's get to work, shall we?
Do you want to know what I'm doing? Hauling books, and ore, and fauna. We need tolling and haul it. Every decade or so, they stick stock in the Labyrinthos, you know? Sort and tidy up the inventory. Never seen an operation like this before, though. They just did one a few summers ago, even. And with no warning at all, this must gets dropped on the laps. Orders from on high. Damned if I know the reason. Could be that they're changing the layout, eh? Preparing for the next big expansion. Your exchange with Dublin has taught you about taking stock in the Labyrinthos. Let me think. The receipt should be item 1058, cumin seeds 59, snowballberry 1060. Oh, are they 1061? Ah, my head feels like it's stuffed with mocha grass. Oh, I'm more loads to take out than carry in. Why do all these ones are risking mixing it up? What if some mistakes Curtin residents carrots for the bearing in carrots, but then? Exchange with Thief has taught you about large shipments coming in and out of Labyrinthos. You're here to help them. You're to help or give me more headaches, because you don't have the look of a cleaner, and I'm not in no mood for idle chatter. One of my colleagues was so exhausted he took a tumble and crashed into a pile of crates. I have to pack the marmots. Now I have a pack of marmots running loose. Any luck, Rain? What tales did the Gleaners have to tell? Boop, boop. And boop. So this grand preparation began without warning? And for every item they bring in, they're sending even more inventory somewhere else. That would explain the haggard faces I've been seeing. We were right. The farm is definitely up to something. And they're turning Labyrinthos upside down in the process. You would do well to learn more of what specifically the Gleaners are being tasked to do, as well as who has tasked them to do it. If you're game, Rain, I have an idea. Didn't one of the Gleaners you questioned say something about escaped marmots? Perhaps if we were to help him capture said creatures, he might be inclined towards a more friendly and enlightening conversation. In the meantime, I will turn my charms upon this Gleaner here. We could compare notes afterwards. Happy hunting! Maybe you shouldn't discuss this in front of the person you're trying to question. But I don't know. Not an expert. Dash it. Wish to help me in finding marmots, and I have nothing suitable to pay you for your services. But if you're offering of the goodness of your heart, I'd welcome the assistance. The name's Aaronville, friend, specialist in the collection of life specimen. That said, the capture of these Nangshan marmots is a trial, and I've no desire to repeat. Grizzled mice, they call them. For a mercy, there are no other marmot species of this tier at present, so there should be no mistaking the little fugitives. If you happen to catch any, stuff them in the sack. Gently, of course. Whoops. Where to begin, you wonder? I've not seen any scampering around here, so we'll need to widen our search into the surrounding forest. Be in your guard. There are beasts out there that won't hesitate to prey on a marmot, or you. In search of the also to the trees to the west. The eastern part of the forest is all yours. Good luck. But no, not the goodness of my heart. The goodness of me needing the shit you're gotta talk about something. Actually, isn't there an event going on right now? There is. There's an egg vent. How nice. Egg. Well, hello. Mouse noises. Come on. Hello. Good evening. Bonjour. Hello, Coyote. Troll. Well, after fashion, I guess. More mouse noises. Go into the sack. Come on. Stop running away. Get into the bag. What is this, Nebby? Yeah. No. No, thank you. I don't want to fight you right now. Get in the bag. Do it. Do it. Ether current. Current ether current. One of the right now variety. Ah! Leave me alone. I'm looking for the fucking thing. Where? Where? Here? Among these stones? Yes. Among stones. Stay in the bag. Finally. Annoying little bugger. Nice. Yeeb. That. How did you fare? I checked in 3 of the pack, which leaves 1 unaccounted for. Ah, there's the odd marmot out. Give me a moment while I put our friends in the holding cage. Yeah, please do. Thankfully, the marmots seem unharmed. They've held up well in isolation, but it's much too soon to release them into the habitat. It's a good thing we were able to recapture them so swiftly. You have my thanks. Who tells you to capture them in the first place? By the authority in charge of Labyrinthos, now and in perpetuity. The same officials who've had us working day in and night of late. The honorable members at the forum. Who else? Suitable for consumption, easy to breed. Those were the 2 conditions. What was given for the stock I was instructed to procure. I don't know what the forum has planned for these creatures, but at the very least, I doubt they'll be served for dinner today or tomorrow. There you are, Rain. Was this the Lena you mentioned? The one who was looking for lost marmots? Interesting company you keep, friend. Who are you folk, anyway? I'm Krylov, the students of Baldassian. These others are my associates. Truth be told, the forum's decisions of late have not sat entirely well with us. That's why we made the descent into Labyrinthos. We hope that by seeing those decisions put into action, we might more fully understand their reasoning. Wise and practical. Never hurts to try and gain a broader perspective, does it? Anyway, duty calls. Other animals to capture and enclosures to empty. Once again, I'm sorry that I can't offer you more for your services. Did you learn anything new from your friend there? So you've confirmed the order for this ambitious operation did indeed come directly from the forum. However, the Gleaners have not been informed of its purpose. I'd say that fits with everything we've heard thus far. We also discovered that when the operation was begun, the forum contacted the Gleaners' guild ship and put their people into this great work, some 4 days after the Telophoroi made their chilling declaration. As seasoned travelers, the Gleaners keep abreast of news from every corner of the world out of necessity. Thus, I'm inclined to trust that the calendar of event is accurate. Altogether, it gives the distinct impression that this undertaking was a sudden and unexpected development. Yet I find it hard to believe that such a comprehensive restructuring of Labyrinthos and its archives could have been planned in so brief a window. Nay, this plan was long in the making. They were but awaiting the right time to put it into effect. The Telophoroi's declaration was what set it on in motion? It seems likely, but let us not leap to conclusions just yet. For the moment, I suggest we conduct a wider investigation of Labyrinthos. The more facilities we visit, the more pieces of the puzzle we stand to find. In that case, how about we head to the Archaeon? From there we can reach the lower... Not again. Ryle, what's wrong? I'm fine, truly. The sudden descent has left me with a bit of a headache, that's all. Nothing that would stop me from soldiering on. Let's be about it then. At least allow me to take the lead. I'm fairly certain I remember the way to the Archaeon. We follow the path east through the forest where you were chasing after that mouse or marmot, was it? Anyway, just the trolls you need to watch out for. Behold, the Archaeon. As Numenor serves as Sharlayan's literary archive, so does this structure house the city's wealth of material data. The architecture, too, is similar. This building you see is merely the upper entrance, an access point to the vaults carved into the cliffside itself. Within those vast rooms are stored countless samples of specimens, as well as the detailed records of which describe them. In a manner of speaking, the Archaeon contains a physical history of Sharlayan's unwavering dedication to the accumulation of knowledge. Well, we won't learn anything from a village standing out here. Let us proceed into the main building and speak with the custodian. Why can I not talk today? There. What is happening? Hey, were you ready, dear? You have to walk. You didn't walk. Oh, sorry. I need to hold on. I need something to wake me up inside. I'm gonna get a drink. God. I feel like I'm having a fucking stroke today. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm away. I need to walk. Yes, hi. Cogspongo. Cogspongo is a very good emote. I love it. There's a nice sword you have there, friend. That's a really nice sword. There. Cool. Greetings. We are to peruse the Archaeon's vaults. Peruse? You're clean as done. What is your affiliation? We belong to the students of Baldesion, but is that relevant? I was given to believe that the vaults, those open to the public at least, were open to the public. Ordinarily, yes. That would be the case. At present, however, access is restricted. Only persons directly involved in the reorganization efforts are permitted to enter. Not us then, I suppose. We better move along to the other facility. This building has a lift which connects to the middle tier, yes? Might we at least make use of that? That service has also been suspended, I'm afraid. For the time being, priority has been given over to the conveyance of inventory. What? So this is as far as we can go? I apologize for the inconvenience. Please come again after a reconstructing operation is concluded. By that time, it will be too late. We were so close to getting answers. Need to rethink our approach. Let us step out for the moment, shall we? Hi, Vedrit. How are you? Students of Bastion. I'm having the slowest stroke of my life today, apparently. We had an impasse. As we have no other leads, I should like to peruse this one further. But I doubt that a stone-faced custodian will be swayed by heartfelt pleas. We must seek another means to access the lower levels. It is likely that the people in this area are involved in reconstructing in one way or another. If we were to integrate ourselves, they might as well allow us to accompany them to on the lift. Let us ask around. Surely someone is in need of a few strong backs to lighten the load. Am I taking the lift? No, we're just students. They wouldn't let us into the arcade, even though we found... Literally, we have no idea what it is we found. There's no record of such a creature anywhere, but it was wandering around Tranquility. And so we thought to donate it to the vaults. Or just a little squeal, did you think? Anyway, I suppose we have to take care of it until the arcade is open again. Is there a beaver in there? Did they, you know, abduct a beaver? Oh look, it's Chatbird. My favorite. What's that? Take it down to the lift with me. Sorry, but not a chance. I've been up and down all day, and only now I've finally found a spare moment of rest. I did see a Gleaner fellow heading the gate there, though, shouldering a large pack engaged in some man of task. Maybe he'll be handed down or below after he's done with whatever he's doing. Is it my boy? It is! Aaronville. My boy. Quiet, you frightened away. That's you again. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm in the middle of another task. The cloudkin I need to capture is close. Very close. You wish to help me with this too? You spend your time in unusual ways, my friend. Still, 2 hunters are generally better than 1. Very well. The canal is the common gathering spot for birds of all kinds, but the one I'm after today is the hornbill. Its feathers are green, and its cries a distinctive caw, single out and suited with a sleeping dart. The effects are short-lived, so I'll lie in wait down with the riverbank to claim a quarry. Be sure to hit the right one. Bird hunting. There we go. Got the hornbill. Bad. Zabardo. Yeah.
A fair shot.
We get to hear his voice. I love him. The me.
Nicely done. Let me truss this one up and I'll make my way over to you.
There you are. Any new revelations?
I found this cutie.
So you met with that gleaner again, this time to capture a hornbill. I understand catching and bringing in creatures from the outside, but what's the point of chasing after ones already here?
Oh, it's a simple thing, really. Occasionally, we remove specimens no longer needed for study, or those we've had difficulty raising. But we can't simply turn them loose. Safely returning such creatures to their native habitats is another facet of a gleaner's duties. But not in this case, I'm afraid. I've been asked to bring the bird below.
The restricted section in the lower levels of Labyrinthos. Open only to a select few researchers handpicked by the Forum. The projects down there are the subject of rumor and hearsay. Forbidden magics. Advanced technologies that can never be allowed to fall into outside hands. Even Archons are not privy to the truth. Those who are, the researchers involved in this secretive work, are not permitted to walk freely in the city, and are instead required to live in isolated quarters.
What could a facility subject to such strict security protocols possibly need with a hornbill? An experiment?
Possibly. I wasn't afforded an explanation. But judging by the requisition list given to me and my colleagues, I doubt it's for any kind of advanced research. I'd be more inclined to believe we were making preparations to migrate to the south. Mericidia or thereabouts.
I would wish.
What? Why would you say that?
Much of the flora and fauna we were asked to procure could serve as reliable sources of sustenance.
Still mad at this
They're
tease.
comparatively hardy species too, able to endure harsh climates. And among them are specimens known to be effective in improving soil quality and purifying water.
When you put it that way, migration does sound like a reasonable assumption.
That's all it is, though. An assumption. Through our tasks, we gleaners glimpse only bits and pieces of the Forum's plans. Our prime concern is that our requisitions, be they living or otherwise, are properly preserved for the knowledge of future generations. Now, I really must be going. I regret that I cannot reward you as you deserve.
Actually, you could take me down a level.
Perhaps you might reward us after a fashion then. It is imperative that we reach the lower levels. And seeing as you are already set to descend with your assigned cargo, mayhap we could accompany you as your assistants.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. Once the animals have been prepared for transport, we send them down separately via the lift. I will of course follow after to make my report, but I can hardly pass you off as porters when there's nothing left to carry.
Indeed. Pray forget I said anything.
How do you feel about climbing? If you've strength and the courage to brave it, then there is another way down. This path leads to the 33rd facet, a mine shaft excavated during one of our expansions of Labyrinthos. While I cannot guarantee that the passage is safe to traverse, it should provide access to the medial circuit below.
I never even knew such a place existed. Thank you. This is the perfect solution.
You're quite welcome, but consider yourselves warned. If the going proves too treacherous, you do well to turn back. I bid you good day.
I like him so much. The best boy.
Well, turning back is hardly an option, not when we've come this
he's
far.
Benui.
Let's go and take a look at this mine shaft.
And Benui is always good. I'm so happy we finally have male Benuis. Oh, by the way, was there a live letter today? I saw something along those lines. What was it about? Oh, whoops. This must be it, the entrance to the mineshaft. It is faint, but I hear something moving within. Creatures homed here, there by the researchers, do you think? Well, slavering beasts aside, we will need to watch our footing. We should tighten our straps and such before we continue. Assuming everyone's tightening their straps and check the gears, then I say we headed in. Given the terrain ahead, though, it might be wise to leave some distance between us. We don't want to be stumbling over each other if it comes to a fight. Take it slow, and don't forget to check your surroundings from time to time. We can meet up again at the other end of the tunnel. Like any relevant information in the live letter, like release dates or something? Or just like general info about, I guess, the next patch probably. But mostly part 1 live letter of 6.4. I see. Any word about 7.0? Or is that too early yet? Because, I mean, that is around the corner. You know? I want more news about the graphics update, to be honest. I'm really curious how it'll look. But I'm also not sure if it's... Like, it's probably almost a year until we get the expansion. So there's lots of stuff still to be done. Too early, but FanFest NA is in July. Oh, that sounds good. You mean Lottery Fest? That's so unfortunate that it's lottery based now. But at least the lottery system prevents scalpers. Most people will get, like, a proper ticket. We're getting a look at the graphic update in the FanFest. Nice. Neat. Everyone seems to have made it through without incident. Nothing of consequence, at least. And as promised, the tunnel has delivered us into the medial circuit. Not medical circuit. As I recall, this tea is where they keep a wide variety of samples for agricultural production. If Aaronville's assumption holds true, that specimens are being collected in preparation for Great Migration, then we should see evidence of such plans in the area's research products. Let's follow the path to the nearest farming facility and see what we can see. What is this doing here? I thought those were native to the first. Apparently not. That reminds me. Anden. Best custom delivery NPC in the game. That fucking grass head. It's so funny. Oh no. No, the tragedy. Tales of loss and fire and grapes. No, look at them. They have too many polygons. No. I miss the square grapes. Now where we are. This is Mariel Agronomics. Labyrinthos is host to a wide variety of vegetation, which allows us to conduct studies on cultivation methods utilized in foreign lands. And it is this facility which coordinates and oversees those efforts. The fruits of their research go to feed their Labyrinthos colleagues, so I hear. More notable successes might make it to the Agora. Food so exotic you'd be hard-pressed to guess their origin, let alone how they might taste. Indeed. Mystery vegetables without a name. Only a list of nutritional benefits scribbled on a card. I see no gleaners hereabouts. Yet these workers seem to share that same sense of urgency. It's possible they know something of the forum's plans and their underlying motivations. Worth looking into, wouldn't you say? See what we can coax from the workers. The rest of us will do the same or cast about useful clues. But yeah, did they reveal any release date for 6.4, or is that still up in the air? I mean, it's probably still about 2 months until they even consider releasing it, so... I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't a release date in this life letter. They wait until the next before they give us one. Look at them. Disgusting! Where's my square grape? What crops are you raising? Well, as you can see, this one is a variety of grape. Only needs to good source of sunlight to grow, and the conditions here, nothing short of perfect. Hardly surprising, given that it's native to a particular locale in the very place upon which Labyrinthos was modeled. A region at the south of Ilzabad. It boasts remarkable habitat diversity, allowing for myriad flora and fauna to thrive. Chilly peaks in the north give way to the swaths of temperate plains, which in turn transitions into a hot, humid coastline. Such bountiful territory is ever contested, as you might expect. Used to be called Corvos before the Imperials renamed it to Locus Amonis. Among Us, I don't know. Locus Amogus. Just said enough of me. Yeah, that tracks. That tracks. if I remember correctly, in one of the many Q&As lately, Yoshida has also said that 7.0 will definitely not come before January. There's no way they get it done this year. Which is fine. I would rather have a good expansion than a rushed expansion. The last one came out in January, so in December. Basically January, though. Because it came out, like, right ahead of Christmas. Because they wanted to keep the promise of fall-ish that they made. The forum saw it not as a prize, however, but as a research as ideal environment. One whose climates were strove to create within the confines of Labyrinthos. It's since provided a rich foundation for countless experiments in cultivation. But yeah. Corvos. That's where Raha is from. The cutest boy. Do I have aught to be taken down below? More than I can carry and then some. Most of her stock is sent off via cargo lift, but some has been earmarked for aerial transport. Hence the stack of crates atop that hill over there. God's hauling the lot of the slowest job and a half. Ah, yes. The name. The name that I refuse to pronounce. No. Oh, hello there. We weren't expecting visitors, not with use of the lift being restricted. How did you make it down here anyway? The mine shaft, you say? Well, you're much hardier, sir, than I. In normal circumstances, I'd reward such tenacity with a guided tour of the fields, but I'm afraid the forum is as filling orders a list of malm long. Massive yet detailed requests, literal wagon loads of crop samples, and hardly any time to put them together. When I first heard of this grand reorganization, I assumed we would be shuffling around old stock to make room for the new. Then came the orders for ridiculous quantities of seeds we've already thoroughly researched. Passing strange, eh? I pressed for an explanation, but it was met with vague assurances that all would be revealed in due course. Not the most satisfying answer. And yes, sus. The sussest. I love that that's a 2020 limited emote and it's still here. Like, what do you mean limited time emote? It has very much been here for 2 years. 3, actually, almost. Limited my ass. Whee. Do you think these would be good to, like, cultivate? I mean, they are vegetable of a sort. Oh. Oh, it's time, isn't it? The labels on these crates tell the story of the contents. Bundles of common seeds and saplings, accompanied by sheaves of reports. It is time, isn't it?
Hard to look away, isn't it? But they're more than pretty flowers. Heart blooms are attuned to ambient emotion. You don't seem convinced, but believe me, it's true. This ashen grey, for instance, it mirrors the anxiety and urgency of those working nearby as they rush to fulfill sudden orders. Intense feelings like those spur the petals to change colour. Bright glowing hues in the presence of joy, dark subdued shades for frustration or despair. Yet even with the collected wisdom of Charlian at our disposal, we've yet to identify the underlying principle of this empathic effect. And there are other mysteries besides. Although the flower is extraordinarily long-lived, its low reproductive rate has made it difficult to find younger populations growing in the wild. With too few sightings to map its distribution, and no closely related species to track, we've been unable to pinpoint its land of origin. To further complicate matters, every culture, even dimly aware of its existence, has given it a different name and mythos. Our attempts to study it via the historical record have been an exercise in frustration. As an avid botanist myself, I should one day like to unravel the Heartbloom's secrets. But I'm afraid other duties must take precedence. I will leave you to your thoughts.
Matoya.
Have you learned aught of interest? A flower that reacts to one's feelings? Strange. I must say, I have never heard of such a thing.
This is all very fascinating. But as it stands, we've failed to gain any significant insight into the Forum's undertaking.
Indeed. While there is certainly enough activity to support Erenville's supposition that a priority has been placed on improving food production, unfortunately for our investigation, these workers were never informed as to how their duties serve the master plan.
If only we could interrogate the Forum members directly. Isn't that the entrance to the Archaean?
Is it frog time? It might be
Look,
frog
there.
time.
I think that's Erenville.
A little difficult to tell from here, but I think you're right. He did say he was coming down to make his report.
Erenville receives his orders from the Forum. Would it not follow, then, that the superior to whom he reports is a Forum member, or at least a close associate?
You mean to eavesdrop on their conversation? What of the risks?
Ours alone to bear. We won't interfere with Erenville's work, nor will he be implicated as an accomplice.
Too many signs.
If you're not comfortable
Way too
taking
cute.
part,
Yes.
I can do this alone.
Nay. I said myself that I wished to know Father's intentions. And no answers will be forthcoming should we simply ask nicely.
We can apologize later, should it come to it. Right now, we need every crumb of information we can get our hands on. Consequences be damned.
It might be best if you came along as well. In fact, we should all... Cryle?
Oh, yes. That certainly sounds like a plan.
I'm glad you agree.
Look at the cute Benui. Look at him.
Quickly! Erenville is on the move. We need to get closer before we lose him.
Cryle, are you okay?
Almost. I can almost reach you.
Those flowers. Hey, Walkie. How are you? How is the core? Core E. Is Cryle still feeling unwell? I've never seen her so distracted. Keep an eye on her, but keep moving. We cannot let our quarry slip away. Erenville was headed westwards along the path that set the Archaeon. Come, we can still reach him. Catch him, whatever. We can still go where he be. Oh. Time to walk, because this is Endwalker. Na, na. Cute scions are cute. Hold a moment, I have an idea. Frog time. If memory serves, the colossal wall-like structure is the Logisticon Beta, one of Labyrinthos' climate control centers. It should have its own lifts, with which one could access the upper and lower tiers. If I were an agent of the Forum, it would make for a convenient meeting place. But if we happen to find Erenville in his company of said agent, we can't expect them to reveal issues of importance as we nonchalantly stroll past. Nay, we shall have to remain undetected. If only Graham and Vanish spell were here. Oh, but there's one other way. There's other ways of turning invisible. Frog time. Hippity hop, my little toads. Goodness. Frog. It's frog time. Unaccustomed to transfiguration, we're not aware of the passage of time. I suggest you and your green companions hop along and catch up with Erenville. Should you feel the magic's fating, return to me and I will refresh the enchantment. And what am I to do in the meantime? But hear me, in your current state of mind, you'd be as likely to leap into the jaws of a predator as you would learn anything of note. Which reminds me, where are the creature's hereabouts? In that form, you're essentially defenseless. If changed into a toad, you must remain transfigured in order to progress the quest objectives. You will return from your transfigured status. If you move too far away, look to your map for the transfiguration area of effect. Speak with his toad to restore or prolong the transfiguration. Frog. We have become frog. Frog. This is so good. Frog. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Alpha Toad and Alid Toad are now accompanying you. Keep them at your side in order to proceed with the quest objectives. You can leave your quest companions behind by entering a different area, or by speaking with them and selecting the options to part ways. If you wish to have companions join you again, return and speak with them at the original location. Frog. This is so funny. Frog is. Now, who's the cutest scion? Who's the cutest frog? Rate the cutest frog. Also, I love this area of effect. Like, yes. Ribbit, ribbit. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Ribbit, ribbit. Frog. This is so good. This is the correct way to use your powers as a game developer. Just add frog. Frog mode. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Alpha Toad attempts to fail and fails to shake his head, but you nevertheless understand that he's telling you this is the wrong way. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Alito turns to face the north. Perhaps she's suggesting you cross the bridge. But you tell me, who is your favorite scion? Who is the cutest among the scions? I'm particularly fond of Raha. Raha is very good. The ear wiggles. And Kryl. Kryl is also very nice. Frog.
I trust you will find your compensation to be more than satisfactory. We wish to make clear that we are pleased with the efficiency and thoroughness of your work. So much so that we have come bearing new tasks in need of your competent hand.
Another lengthy list. If I may speak frankly, the Gleaners have been pushed to the point of collapse by your unending demands. We are not familiars to be exploited. We are Sharlayan scholars, and we deserve an explanation for this unseemly treatment. What warrants such urgency?
In an age long past, Sharlayan was charged with a momentous duty. And now that word of the final days hangs heavy in the air, the time has come for us to fulfill that charge. I can say no more, but I promise you this. All will be revealed in due course. And when it has, you will understand that your toil was in service to the greatest good.
Then I will do your bidding. For now. But unless you wish the Gleaners to rise up in protest, I advise you to offer tangible improvements for our working conditions. Your promised revelation does nothing to address present circumstances.
A fair point. Your concerns will be conveyed to the Forum.
I hope that was informative. You may consider my debt to you repaid in full. While I do have my reservations about the Forum, I want to believe that they have our best interests at heart. Which is why I'm reassured that you're busy sniffing out the truth of things. We can ill afford to place all our eggs in one basket, this master plan of theirs, without first understanding the risks involved.
Wait! How did you know it was us?
If you mean to impersonate a toad, try studying the real thing. And don't try to fool an expert.
I love him. He's so good. Ha. The goodest Benui. Benui. I suppose we should have known a Gleaner who specializes in animal procurement would not be so easily deceived. Yet he seemed inclined to put his trust in us all the same. More importantly, perhaps, we've discovered a new piece of the puzzle. This momentous duty the Forum agent mentioned. Charlian has been called to action, and the Telophoroid's declaration was the catalyst. Whatever charge it is they hope to fulfill, they deem it of sufficient import to disrupt all of Labyrinthos, not to mention ignore Eorzeus' request for aid. Level up! What duty could warrant such a direct involvement of the Forum and the commitment of all its resources? Judging by what we just heard, none of the Gleaners were offered any kind of explanation. At this point, it seems abundantly clear that we learn nothing by pressing them further. We should head back to Y'shtola and Kryle for the moment. See what they think of this. Well, hello. Welcome back. I trust you found Erenville then. Interesting. I had a feeling you would learn something important. Even if that something was simply a confirmation that no one knows much of anything. We should share this with Kryle, then discuss how we'd like to proceed. Assuming you find her back at the farm, she was still behaving oddly, so I bade her return to rest there. Perhaps not the best decision in hindsight. Would you mind checking near those flowers which she was entranced by? The rest of us can serve with the more distant areas, just in case she decided to wander. Hey, can you... I know you're not feeling well right now, but can you go back on your own? No? Maybe not. Maybe bad idea. Who knows? Straight onion. Onion! How do you dice an onion? Hello, Cryo. How are you? Flower.
For you. The spell will keep it from wilting. She said you would need it for the journey ahead.
Huh?
Will you speak with her now? I cannot hope to match Minfilia's clarity, of course, but...
Well, hi.
Thank you. Do not worry. She has lent me her body for only a moment. Just as I could not save the first from the flood of light, it has become arduous for me to interact with the physical world without assistance. Though I might converse with you for a time, the incorporeal form I assumed on the ship would be incapable of casting even the simplest enchantment. It is in the depths of the ethereal sea, the place to which all life returns, where my influence is greatest. After Minfilia's sacrifice on the first, it was to the sea, here in the source, where I ferried her soul. I wished that gentle spirit to find rest in the world she loved so well. Her, and another who may yet have a part to play, though that will depend on you. Take the flower. Walk free, for you are free to go where you wish, to believe what you will. That bloom will be your guide, test and proof of your conviction. In darkness, seek joy. Surrender not to sadness, and see beyond despair. Walk free, and bear the light for others to follow. Together, raise it aloft and let it shine, till the end, blinding and radiant.
That was all too brief. Already she seems so far away. My apologies if I startled you. Ever since we began our descent into Labyrinthos, I had sensed another's will, straining to reach out. Even with my particular talents, though, I was unable to make a connection at first, so weak and tenuous it was. Once I took hold of that wispy thread, imagine my surprise to discover it was Heidelin herself. Needless to say, it seemed wise to learn what we could before letting go. Her answers were more cryptic than I would have liked, but at least she left us with a guide of sorts, that unusual flower. Yes, we are definitely making progress. You can't be serious! We've done nothing wrong!
That doesn't sound good. Quite the opposite.
Master Fortuno? What business has the Forum with us?
Obstruction and suppression, apparently.
Mistress Baldessian, our records show you facilitated the Scions' entrance into Sharlayan by claiming them as assistants for your organization. We are aware of your investigations. After alerting the major institutions to the presence of potential troublemakers, we received word from an Archean custodian. A group operating under the auspices of the students, skulking about Labyrinthos and engaging in clandestine behavior.
Clandestine? We may not have entered Sharlayan as Scions, but we did naught to conceal our identities. Our only purpose in this city is to seek the truth. I can think of no reason why our actions should warrant the Forum's intervention.
'Tis not our way to discourage the pursuit of knowledge, but the timing of such pursuits must be considered, not to mention their potential impact. With the world in chaos, we, the true caretakers of wisdom, have committed ourselves to an undertaking that demands the utmost discretion. And we will not risk its success by turning a blind eye to disruptive foreign elements in our midst.
What, then, is to be our fate? Will you put us on a ship back to Eorzea?
The Forum will convene to examine your case. The results of said inquiry will determine your future in this city. As for your absent companion, he has already been detained.
Grah! But why? Is reading a crime now, too?
Reading is encouraged, celebrated even. Not, however, of the volumes shelved in the restricted section of the library.
Refusing to comply will only make matters worse. Let us instead treat this as an opportunity to open a dialogue with the Forum.
Silence is often one's best defense. I would advise against prolonging the proceedings with frivolous discourse. But enough. This is not the place for debate. The rostra await.
Well, fuck.
Forgive me. I was careless.
We would have been detained regardless. This way, at least, we managed to stay together. I trust your time within the Forbidden Archives was well spent.
It was
The
very
forum will
good.
come to order. This inquiry is now in session. As Speaker-elect, I will be presiding over the day's proceedings. Master Fortuner, would you be so kind as to restate the matter which compelled you to summon your colleagues with such urgency?
As you are all aware, we recently denied Eorzea's request for Sharlayan assistance. Since then, certain individuals dissatisfied with our decision have taken it upon themselves to interfere with our work. They entered our nation masquerading as associates of the students of Baldessian. But these malcontents are better known as the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. These militants wield influence with both the Eorzean and Eastern alliances, and are inextricably involved with the crises presently afflicting the world at large. Loose in our city, these warmongers sought to meddle with and expose matters of state secret. What are they, if not a dire threat to be expelled?
You have tarnished the good name of the students. Galuf would be ashamed.
Galuf Baldessian was never one to forsake his fellow man. Even if this nation closed every door and retreated from the world, he would have found a way to help the Scions, help every soul of this star fight back against the coming doom.
A terrible enemy stands poised to lay waste to all we hold dear. In the face of such madness, Eorzea reached out to Sharlayan, a respected ally, in the hopes of forming a united front. Was your curt dismissal truly the best you could offer? Or are you so preoccupied with your momentous duty of an age long past that even the end of the world is unworthy of your attention?
Whence came this revelation?
From the mouth of a forum member within fortuitous earshot.
Then it seems your findings support my own. The reason I visited the restricted shelves was to study records of the Forum's policymaking process, to better understand the historical trends underlying their most major decisions. At first glance, the positions of neutrality in war and the accumulation of knowledge above all else appear constant and consistent, the unchanging pillars of Sharlayan society. And once upon a time, I might have left it at that. These days, however, I am more attuned to the subtleties of governance, and so I noticed something odd.
My man, he is over 100 years old. You've got nothing on him.
From a particular point in time, the purpose of these policies shifted. No longer was knowledge preserved for the benefit of society. Rather, society was to be gradually reshaped to ensure the preservation of knowledge. The most conspicuous and telling change was the one which befell Labyrinthos. Once little more than an oversized storehouse, an enormous allocation of funds saw it transformed into an advanced research and archival facility. I also discovered a fascinating account on the finances of our Dravanian colony. The settlement attracted students from far and wide, and the connections and tuition fees thus acquired were funneled into further improvements for the archives. Now, there is no question that our nation's progress is tied to the acquisition of wisdom. Nevertheless, the vast resources diverted for this purpose borders on the obscene. But returning to the matter of when, our change in course appears to have been made some 270 years ago.
The very same period when Sharlayan scholars in the hinterlands began a formal study of the ethereal sea. You found something, did you not? And whatever it was, gave rise to your oh-so-important duty.
Mind your tongue, Archon. If you had seen...
Huh?
Yes. We are bound by a duty we cannot ignore. Knowing this, what would you have us do? Abandon our vital work and join you on the field of battle? We will never choose the way of the sword. We will fulfill our mission not through strife and bloodshed, but survival. Come what may, we shall live on. We must.
Do as you must, then. But we Scions will fight until the heavens fall, until our last breath.
Such misguided zeal.
Father, Master Fortuno, I fail to understand the stance you have elected to take. But by the same token, I have yet to find a compelling argument to counter the challenge you put to us in Gridania. Still, in the midst of my uncertainty, I must trust in myself to do what is right, as others have chosen to trust in me.
Are involved. No.
So I will continue, as I always have, weighing the consequences of my every action, and allowing my hope for the future to inform my decisions.
That's quite enough. Have you all forgotten the reason for this assembly?
Skolok Monteshane. He's the head of the Studium and an old friend of my grandfather's.
Honestly, every discussion devolves into some interminable debate. Terrible habit. Let's return to the topic at hand, By their own admission, these Scions have resolved to fight alongside the Eorzean nations against the doom which swift approaches. But there exists no evidence of an attempt to incite our citizens to do the same. Furthermore, while our decision may well have been the correct one, we cannot simply bull our way through these disagreements without inviting doubts or objections. Put yourselves in their place. Who among you would leave a tome unopened if an elder forbid you read it with no reason given? Now, if we're to quell further discontent, then we must conclude this matter with a fair and even hand.
Order! We will have order! Master Monteshane raises some valid points. Keeping such concerns in mind, I propose we enforce the following measures. Until further notice, the students of Baldessian are to cease any and all activities within the domain of Sharlian. You will also refrain from any further investigation into the Forum's decisions and duties. Failure to comply with these restrictions will result in the immediate expulsion of your Scion associates. Let us put this judgment to a vote. All in favor, raise your hand.
How are you going to count the people behind you?
I count 51 for and 48 against. The proposal is passed. Students, Scions, you have heard the Forum's judgment. Pray abide by it, or face the consequences. Honored members, I thank you for your time. This inquiry is concluded.
Well then, that's, could be worse, could be better. But at least you've been allowed to remain in the city. And endless investigations have not been in vain. We now know that this mysterious duty of theirs began with whatever the Forum discovered in the ethereal sea. With our freedom so sorely curtailed, however, we will struggle to learn aught more of substance in Sharlian. The overall picture's grown clearer, yes, but that's in spite of the Forum being so maddeningly vague about this duty of theirs. Why are they so reluctant to explain their actions in plain words? Survival come what may. His father's work so vital that it takes precedence over his own family. Alphino, Alize, it is you. Yes. When I had heard you'd been dragged before the Forum, I came as swiftly as I could. I'm so very glad they allowed you to stay. Mother! Emilian Slevilier at your service. And you fine people must be the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. How lovely it is to finally meet you. Mom! Mother, please, we don't wish to make things difficult for you. It would reach us further that you were here. Oh, bother that. I'm just chastised. Am I to be chastised for speaking with my own children? I'm well aware that you and your master Fortuno are not to the best of terms at the moment, but I've been absolutely desperate to see my darlings again. You will come to the house, won't you? I've gifts waiting. The timing couldn't be better. As matters stand, we shan't be going anywhere until we discuss matters with Thancred's group and reconsider options. Go visit your home. We'll be back at the annex when you're ready to rejoin us. Shall we... Rain, what do you think? Rain, the Rain Umbria? What a splendid day this has turned out to be. Champion of Eorzea, I insist that you join us. Okay. But we must be quick about it. Not for my benefit, but should my husband return and find you enjoying hospitality, the servants will be made to suffer the consequences. Rain, if you would be so kind as to escort my children to the estate. And then she was gone, and with her any opportunity to protest. Indeed, the matter settled. Enjoy yourselves, you three. You're like, why don't you join us? Leaves before I can answer, like... Why don't I? Sure. I apologize. My mother's not one to take no for an answer. Still, I'm glad, relieved even to see you in such high spirits. What say you, Rain? It seems you shall have little enough time to enjoy it. Will you accompany us on your visit home? Fine. If we're going, then let's get it over with. But be sure to stay in the entrance hall. No peeking into our private chambers. Thank you very much. Why ever not? Your room was always perfectly neat and tidy. Everyone has things they'd rather keep to themselves, don't they? Cherished mementos you couldn't bring yourself to throw away, childhood toys. I mean, never mind. The Lavalier estate is that way. Straight down the stairs. Come on. Whee. The Lavalier estate is the northern part of Journey's End, just down the stairs from the rostra. Oh, and please don't make a fuss when we get there. It's only a house. After all we've been through together, it's just strange to be here with you now. To come full circle and see how much has changed. It's only a house. It's the biggest house in the city. Is that so? Well, when Alice and I were little, this bridge was as far as we were permitted to wander alone. I say alone, but my mother was or a servant was always somewhere nearby, keeping a watchful eye. And now look at us, traveling to different continents and different worlds even. As children, Alfino and I would often wait here for our father to come home from work. Must have been a day when his meetings ran long. Because I remember growing restless and leaning out over the railing to watch the water rush by. Father, of course, arrived at the exact moment, came pounding down the path in panic, crying out my name. And who are you for me to care about your opinion on what games I can play? Also, you wrote FF9. Or FF... What would that be? Well, it's spelled the wrong way, but it would still make 14. You are in luck. And here you are at last. Please do come in. I love Emiliane, she's so good.
Welcome home, my lady.
What? What are you gawping at?
Your big house, Alice. Cyan headquarters must seem squalid indeed.
I'll have you know I'm quite fond of the Rising Stones.
Daughter of a rich family, it's so funny.
Lord Fortuneau is not to hear of this visit. And I should also like the children to have their gifts, ere my husband makes his return.
As you wish, my lady.
Master Alphino, Mistress Alice, if you would accompany me upstairs.
We shan't be long.
The twins have been sending letters home from time to time, recounting their latest adventures. I am sure they withhold certain details, of course, if only to keep me from worrying. Yet a mother worries all the same. In the early days especially, I tried to support them as best I could, sending the Scion's coin and other such donations. Fortunately, they have found the strength to overcome adversity time and time again. Their words grow more confident with every letter, their depictions more vivid. The triumphs and defeats, the joys and sorrows. 'Tis clear that they have come to find value in every experience. But of those they treasure most, it would seem that meeting you might be the most impactful. Why, since that fateful day, I do believe there has not been a single missive in which you were not mentioned by name.
Ah.
It is plain they care for you, and I am glad they have such a steadfast companion watching over them. Under normal circumstances, I would offer you tea, but alas, these are anything but. In any event, why don't you keep me company whilst we await my children's return? Perhaps you might regale me with a tale or two of your exploits.
When you mentioned gifts, I wasn't sure what to expect. Mother,
Oh, look how well it fits you. And the style is to your liking?
New outfit hype!
It's perfect. Exactly what I would have chosen. But please, tell me you had something different made for Alphino.
Naturally. You are hardly little children anymore. And while I shall miss dressing you in those precious matching outfits, I must respect the individuals you have grown to become.
Good, ma'am.
See for yourself.
Thank you for the splendid clothes, Mother. Stylish, comfortable, and eminently practical.
I am so glad you like them. They are, however, missing one final touch.
If you'd allow me, Master Alphino.
Wait. Are these...
A sage's tools of the trade. They belonged to your father. Though he may as well be chained to his desk these days, as a student he was often called upon to venture into the field. He wielded those armaments, both to heal and to harm in no few battles. None so fierce as those you two have braved, perhaps, but battles nonetheless. Thus did I pull them out of storage, to show you that he was not always the man who stands in vehement opposition to you now. And also because it would be a terrible waste of ridiculously expensive House Leveilleur commissioned artistry.
The Scholar Crystal.
I am told these devices are quite difficult to master, but someone of your extensive experience should soon have them darting about with grace and aplomb. May the wisdom in that crystal serve you well. And please, Try to find common ground with your father, that you might come and go without need for this awful subterfuge.
We will, Mother. I promise.
My final gifts to you, before you run off, are an observation and a suggestion.
Ah.
Firstly, Fortuno has ever been a serious man, but it was only after you were born that he truly lost himself in his work. I may not know the Forum's inner workings, but I know your father's. The timing of that change in him holds some significance. Secondly, do not seek to best your father with words. Far better that you simply show him. Let him discover the merit of your actions, after they cannot be undone.
Oh, Mother.
We shall take your wisdom to heart. Thank you again for these gifts, and farewell for now.
Safe travels, my children. Eat well, stay warm, and keep your friends close.
So good. Wee. Alphino's mom. Mom Fino. I love Emilians. Emilians is such a good mom. Thank you for indulging Mother's request. I can see it meant a lot to her, and I shall refrain from inquiring as to the content of your private conversation. Our visit was all too brief. For now, however, it will have to suffice. As will these tokens of home that we carry with us. These gifts to help us remember who we are and whence we came. But enough sentimentality. Let's return to the annex and rejoin your companions. Ah, the music. Might have been off key, sorry. I can't, like, I don't have loopback with this headset, which means I have no idea how I sound. It's slightly annoying. I need to invest in like a cable headset so I can actually hear myself while I'm streaming. That would be a bit weird, but worth it. Just needs to be comfortable and also closed so it doesn't like loop back into the microphone. That'd be bad. Don't want that. Don't want that, do we? Oh, the music in here is so good. Enjoyed your time with the Leveliers, I hope. I would ask how the twins fared, but their new outfits tell the tale. I only hope we can help them to reconcile with their father. That they might return home one day with their heads held high. In the meantime, we can edge ever closer to the secret the Forum strives to hide. The flower bequeathed to you by Heidelin is sure to guide us along. I'm confident that once we've heard your report from Thavnair, we'll be well equipped to plot our next move. Well, the report's ready. Everyone's back. Since there's been progress in both investigations, shall we share the findings from our respective locales? Locales? How do you pronounce that? Music! Yes! Good music.
Your time in Thavnair has certainly been eventful.
Oh, it has been. It's kind of stressful, actually, to run around here.
Carrying out Vitra's request and assaulting the Tower of Zot should be our highest priority.
I agree. While I still have questions concerning the Forum and their grand undertaking, we have all but exhausted our avenues of investigation. Simply pressing them any harder on the subject will almost certainly result in our expulsion. Therefore, I suggest we explore the ethereal sea connection by way of a letter to Master Matoya, then make our way to Thavnair.
I wonder, even with protection these talismans afford us, what can we hope to achieve once inside the tower? According to Orenvold and Fodola's report, they were unable to free the Emolja. Worse, their attempts triggered the tower's defenses, which led to a summoning of Luna Afrit.
What does it tell us that the Spires even have such defenses? Simply pulling a prisoner from the wall is fatal, thus the direct approach is doomed to failure from the outset. Any further measures to dissuade such actions seem unnecessary. Unless, of course, there is a way to free the prisoners without killing them. Then it stands to reason that any intruders will be met with overwhelming force.
The towers appeared throughout the world in but the twinkling of an eye. 'Twas by magical means these structures were raised, I surmise.
Obviously.
The spire thus conjured must needs be maintained. And I suspect an arcane catalyst, some manner of core, doth lie hidden within. Destroy the core, and the tower ceaseth to be, thus liberating the captives without harm.
So we can hope, and I would prefer to enter the tower with a working theory than with no plan at all.
Sounds good.
Assuming Ishtola's reasoning is correct, the chances of the defenses remaining dormant are small to none. Any primals will have to be dealt with, and defeating one will likely only lead to the summoning of another. Our every victory will only compound the prisoner's suffering.
May we not then divide our forces? Those proficient in healing will focus on sustaining the captives. That duty can be covered by Urianger, Kryl, Yostola, and myself. The remaining scions will proceed with the search for the core. Admittedly, this strategy puts both parties at greater risk, but it should bolster our chances of saving the Arcosodra by a considerable margin.
Are you sure I'll finish the rec group?
If you're to fight primals, then you'd best have at least one healer with you.
That is true.
And I am more than happy to fulfill that role. I found wielding a sage's armament to be rather intuitive, and look forward to testing them against a more challenging foe.
It seems we have a plan. All that remains is to carry it out. I will inform Radzat of our movements, so let us make our preparations and regroup near the tower.
A military post in what's left of the Hamsa hatchery should serve as a convenient staging point.
That sounds perfect. And remember, the experimental aetherite at the confluence is there for those who need it, so there's no excuse for being late.
Let's go! A nice dungeon before the end. Also, I figure I should actually delete that comment from earlier. No, don't want it to hang around at the VOD and give me issues for not removing it. Twitch has been a bit peculiar about insulting comments, I guess, is how I'd best put this. Point being that I particularly enjoy keeping those around. So best course of action for me is to remove it, so it isn't around. So yeah, in case you're watching the VOD and you're like, what is Sneak talking about? You can't read it, except for like very briefly on screen. It won't be in the chat history. Anyway, someone tried to insult me and spelled 14 wrong, which is funny statement. Roman numerals are amazing. Also, in case you're wondering what the heck I'm doing, I forgot to grab the Aetheryte and Labyrinthos, and I don't want to have to walk every time. Hello, can I please go down? Thank you. I'm still wondering what's upsetting my browser. It's weird that it works on Firefox, but it doesn't work on Chrome. Like, I need to definitely go ahead and figure that out. If I have time. I'm actually packed today. Got a night shift ahead of me later. It's gonna be great. Ah, fuck. Dang it. I dropped down. Oh, the Narbroy will murder me. Murderization. No. Okay, we're here. It's funny to me that it plays anti-tower music here. That's so good. Ilsa Bard. But yeah, today's stream will be a bit shorter than usual, because I have work to do, which I can't get around at all. Sad. Well, nothing to be done about it. It's work, it needs doing, I get paid for it, I guess. The silence of the lambs. The silence of the snake, specifically. Nabdeen! Ah, a friend of Eorzea. We've been expecting you. You and yours will lead the mission to the tower, I'm told. The warding scales will be delivered soon. Till then, please stand by the boat we've readied. When your fellows arrive, I will direct them to join you. We pray for your safety and success. Da, 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 da. Ba 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 da 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 da. Will this just give me the portal? Oh, cutscene. Okay. This is the future of... If this is the future of either travel, I think I'll stick to boats. No warning, however empathic, could have prepared me for this. On account of which we are a little late, but fighting fit, mostly. My friends, permit me to thank you for accepting this mission. You must be... We should still call you Varshan, I suppose. Indeed, would not do to confuse the soldiers. Very well then. For our part, we are humbled that you should see fit to entrust us with your warding scales. Please convey as much to His Excellency. One for each of you. Please accept them with my blessings. Oh, thanks. At least we can go anywhere there's, with the blessing of light can go. Not only for this operation either, but all the ones to come. We can finally break your monopoly in primals. I've been waiting for this day! So have we, my friend. So have we. If everyone's amenable to it, let us review the strategy for a good measure. As previously agreed, we will divide into 2 groups. Rain and his band will break through the tower's defenses and locate its core. Meanwhile, the rest of us will tend to the prisoners, who will doubtless want for healing due to the duress of repeated summonings. The primals which the tower bringeth forth shall be deities of Thavnarian myth. As we have no prior experience with such foes, pray exercise the utmost caution when confronting them. Hi, Manny. How are you doing? We commence the operation at your word, my friend. For the people of Thavnair, nay, the entire world, we must prevail. The sleeps. Oh no. Tower of Zot. Who do we take into the tower? I kind of want to take Astinian, if I'm honest. I like Astinian. Astinian good.
Right then.
The voice. The other 2 slots don't give me any choice anyway. A pat. Yes. The Tower of Flesh. Foul place this. Let's proceed with caution. Okay. See no pet. Why you know? How dare? Oh, my PC is so broken at the moment. The West. Wow. Key? Hi, Nidana. We'll get you out of here, I promise. Well, me either, I was working. Stressful day at work today as well. Not a fan. Manusia. It's so funny that the trio is here. It's work. Not particularly oof. It's Friday, so... I'd consider this quite normal. Now if it was next Friday, that would be a bigger oof. One of my colleagues actually has to work on Easter. Poor guy.
You're mine! You underestimate me!
There!
I mean, I also kind of have to be available on Easter, but I probably won't have to work. And for him, I don't know if it matters too much. Well, he might have had plans that weekend because it's a holiday. But he doesn't observe Easter. Because he's Muslim.
You're mine!
So it's not actually a holiday to him, it's just a day off kind of thing. I don't think Muslims have any like actual holidays around this time because it's Ramadan at the moment. So they would be fasting for the next month or so. Which also means that like Easter feasts and stuff are wholly unattractive for Muslim people.
You underestimate me!
Estinian, chill. Just the tiniest bit. Well, I hope you get compensation for that. It is still a holiday, even if it is a regular workday for you. So it's illegal to work, to have your work then without compensation. No. That's just because you work on weekends. You need compensation for the holiday. Go through. Yes.
You underestimate me!
You need extra days off for those.
My turn.
Bonk. Gastronomy is not gastronomy gets a pass for having people work on holidays, which is otherwise illegal. You don't get you don't get like absolved of having to pay workers' compensation for having them work on the holiday. You must either be compensated in pay or in time off. Otherwise, working on a holiday is illegal. So, working on a Sunday that is also a holiday would mean you need to be paid double for your hours if they don't offer you like time off for those days worked. Or like double what you would earn on a regular work day. Yeah. That's good. I mean, it's also like kind of... This is getting recorded, so if someone watches this and needs this information, there you go. Unfortunately, if you live in the USA, I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do for you.
You're mine!
You're shit out of luck. That sucks. Yeah.
You underestimate me.
I don't know. There's only so many like visas I can offer.
There.
I can only marry one person to get them out of that shithole. Fine, Cred. Do your job. Thank you. And these NPCs... I'm pretty sure they have intentionally, like, undertuned the NPCs. So it's still worth it to play these with actual humans. Like, imagine how hard it would be to find a roulette queue if the NPCs were actually good at the game. Like, dealt damage and stuff. It would be impossible. I wouldn't play with people. People suck. What do you mean MMORPG? Nah. This is a single-player game with other people running around in it. The bunnies. Ah. Alright, the island exists. I need to do that. Whoops. I forgot. No. I forgot about the island.
There.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't go anywhere. The island is probably the least punishing content in the game.
My turn.
Which is good because it's supposed to be relaxing. Right, Japan? You're not supposed to rush through all of it, right? Japanese players? Do they have chill? I don't think they have chill. There's no chill. Poor Yoshida. I mean, yeah, obviously you do. That is how you play it correctly. But like, people in Japan actually reached level 10 on the island in the first week. Yeah. That was Yoshida's reaction as well. Well, they did nothing other than just grinding items.
You're mine.
Collecting an item gives you XP. They did that every day for a week. All day. Just gathering things that they don't need. Because they are insane. Yeah, because you let the island do the collecting for you. Or the experience stuff. You just waited for things to actually be done. You weren't like, I need to reach level 10 immediately. And then just right-clicked crops for the next 10 days. Like a normal person. You did it like a normal person is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, Yoshida's reaction was also like, people, I told you to not rush this. This is explicitly the opposite of what I asked you to do. I'm kind of funny, not gonna lie. Ah, shit. There we go. Got it. Well, I don't know what I have. I have items, for sure.
You cannot stop us! You're mine!
That is mean to use on a black mage. Are you... Man! I hate when it just randomly interrupts the cast. It's so annoying. Just nope, you don't get to cast anymore. Fuck you.
You underestimate me.
Okay. Oh no, the timer. No. Not the timer. Whatever will I do? Oh wow! I have been timed. I hate this boss. It's the worst. Might it be the one that has a dot on it? Who knows? Maybe.
All or nothing!
This boss was a lot more fun on Red Maids. Bosses that leave mid-rotation are the worst. Give me the items. Give them! Yeah, aiming. God damn it. Woo! Alright, it's the fun reach around. I actually got into the next dungeon. Like the one after this, the 83 dungeon, randomly in roulettes the other day. I was like, I haven't been here in a while. I was full on expecting the deep dungeon to be in there as well, by the way. I did not expect it to be in the Crystal Tower.
You're mine!
That was out of left field. Very much out of left field. Bonk. Oh no, it's one of those.
Prepare yourself!
Healing, yay. Thancred, please pull them closer together, thank you. Man.
You cannot stop us!
NPCs are stupid. Yeah, the other tower. I was trying to avoid that part, though. Wow, a casting item. How nice. Gear. Hog. Thancred, no. Thancred got bonked. No. Yes.
You underestimate me!
Bong. 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 Murder. Oh, the boss of this. I remember what the boss of this dungeon is. For some reason, I didn't really do these dungeons that often. I haven't leveled the trust yet in Endwalker. Because trust leveling is annoying and boring.
Mitre.
And I never get them in roulettes because there's too many other dungeons in leveling. The chances of me getting an 80+ dungeon in leveling roulette is very slim. No better the customers protect the tower. Woo. Having to select the Magus Sisters. It's so funny that they're here. The Final Fantasy fan service. Just the Magus Sisters. Then the other callback boss as well. So many. Oh boy.
Try and stop it! This will hurt.
Boss. These also take forever to die. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Alphino, stop getting hit! Alphino wants to die, apparently. Why you do this? Why you do this, Alfie? Aha! It's this! And then those! Oh boy. That's a lot of lines. Y'all, please leave. Ow.
All or nothing!
I mean, I've never played either. I just know them. I've played very little of the Final Fantasy series myself. I know most of it from Let's Plays or streams.
I have you!
Which has funny side effects, by the way. Like misremembering Tidus's name. Or Tidus? Tidus. Because the Let's Player that I watched it... where I watched the 10 playthrough, named Tidus after himself. And after like 10 years... my memory of the original name had been completely faded. It was gone. I just wasted a ton of mana. Ah, this is so annoying. Come on! Stop.
All or nothing!
So much chaos.
Time to end this!
Tidus, I see. I mean, he would have a name in-game. No, wait, he wouldn't. Because you can rename him. Are any of the characters addressed by name in the voiceover? Because you can rename all of them. Or are they just like very intently staring at each other like, you?
You underestimate me!
Bonk. Fun thought. F. Magus Trio. Boop. They have been deaded. The sad. It's been so long since we've been able to be happy at the end of a dungeon. The West. Did I just drop the orchestrion scroll? I did. Okay.
Is everyone all right?
We fortified the captives with what magics we could. Have the defenses been disabled? All appears quiet for the moment.
It's time for Giga Chad, Raha.
The lower floors were disturbing enough, but this place feels wrong. The ether is heavy and thick, like wading through a quagmire.
I believe we stand in the tower's beating heart. What sayest thou, Ishtola?
I don't think she's going to be too happy.
see it. Ether siphoned from the land runs up through the spire, flowing to a single point. This is the core we seek. Yet something is off. As large as this structure is, it siphons far more ether than is required to sustain it.
Sus.
'Tis as if the core is feeding on the energy, consuming it. I need to take a closer look.
Huh.
Curious. There is something there embedded inside the core. A man's limb.
The fuck?
This is what we came to destroy?
Yes, if you would be so kind.
Poor Stola. Monka is indeed.
And that should be the end of it.
What now?
My theory that the tower might come crashing down following the core's destruction doth appear to be correct.
Bully for you! And how are we supposed to survive the fall?
Estinian, please.
What of the prisoners below?
The floor beneath our very feet dissolves. Brace yourselves!
I pray I'm not too late.
What happened? Where are we?
Safe.
By my reckoning, we're still on the island where the tower stood. But 'tis as if it never existed. Hardly a scratch. But how?
Graha wove a levitation spell at the last moment. Large enough to catch everyone, it would seem.
Goodest bean.
That explains the lack of obvious injuries.
The expenditure of so much ether has taken its toll. He will need plenty of rest, but should otherwise be none the worse for wear.
The music.
Then the immediate problem is what to do with our new friends here. They'll be much changed for their time in the tower. Even if their bodies are intact, I doubt we could say the same for their minds.
Angelo and I will take care of that.
I have every faith in you, Alize, but there are just too many for you to treat alone.
We'll send at once to Eorzea for more porksies, and call on the local mages to lend a hand.
Hail, Scions!
Rashan!
We were watching the tower when it simply disappeared. What happened here?
The threat is banished, and thy people delivered. They are, however, in need of treatment, and we of a secure locale and helping hands to assist us in its provision.
You shall have all this and more. Come, let us convey these unfortunate souls to the city.
Final Fantasy III music. It's good. The liberated prisoners are being transported to Radzatan for treatment. Alazantia Stola will oversee the administration of the tempering treatment, with support from those who know a healing spell or two. You'll go and join them in the city once you've had a moment to catch your breath. Boop. Had enough rest, have you? You never want to be idle. Right. Varshan bade us to come to Megaduda at the earliest convenience. The others will join us there once they have finished training to the prisoners. Now, wait, on second thought, you and Justinian should go ahead. I need to make a detour to the Great Work. We left Gra in the Alchemist's care, you see. Best to fetch him before he's crammed into his specimen jar. Just you and me then. The guardsman at the gate should wave us through. I think they actually did fashion Raha's ability set after specifically Final Fantasy III classes to stay on theme with the whole Crystal Tower and everything. Which I appreciate. The attention to detail is very nice. Well, hello, I'm dead. Ah! I didn't realize I was running into the A rank. Fuck. Man. Well, hello. Dang it. Anyway, right before that quest mark is actually where I'm going to have to cut stream short today. I have a night shift ahead of me, and I need to get ready for that. Because I don't know if this will play cutscene or not, and I can't risk it. If the cutscene is longer than 5 minutes, I'm going to be late. Anyway. Yay. Thank you so much for watching, for hanging out. I hope you've had a good time. And I'm going to see you tomorrow for Persona 5 Strikers. Is what's on the agenda for tomorrow. Yay. I wish you good night. And bye-bye. Is anyone online? Anyone live? No. Everyone's offline. Sad. Bye-bye then.